Welcome back, everybody, to What Up There Concussion Sub Series. It has been a long break we had taken on our podcast, but guess what? Baseball's coming to India. Five Test match series starts tomorrow, and we have Aditya who's joining in from Hyderabad. He's going to go for the Test match. We'll get some insights. Anil Jain will join any minute. But five Test series, too much cricket, too much T20. Aditya, how's your 2024 viewpoint about cricket? Let's start with that first.
No, it's good. Like, I think this is the year ODIs have been deprioritized. So we only have a lot of test matches and a lot of T20s in preparation for the T20 World Cup. And after the T20 World Cup, I don't think there are going to be too many T20 internationals, at least. Leagues are like, that's a different topic. But I'm happy it's a five test match series, right? India and England have started playing five test match series like a few years ago. During COVID, the last test was like kind of cancelled. We went and played again. So it was in England, it was 2-2. I think it shouldn't be as close in India, but it's good. We have five tests. Later this year, we go to Australia. That's also a five test match series. So India, England, Australia are like trying to amp it up. And to be honest with you, like those are the only countries which can afford to play five test matches. So it's fine. Like so, India played one in South Africa this year, then five here. Then we played two versus Bangladesh, then three versus New Zealand, and then four in Australia, and one goes into 2025. But overall, it's like what 16 tests, and if you include like the South Africa test last year, 17 tests in a matter of like 14 months, 13 months. So that's good. I like a good test match, and these days most test match last 2 to 3 days, right? Like at max three, more or less, right? So the more tests we get, the better it is. So can't complain. Like really like it. Five tests and should be a good test series.
Yeah, absolutely. Me too. I'm in the same opinion that there is nothing called too much cricket. Cricket is cricket. Now, whether it is T20, one day, or Test match doesn't matter. But there are a lot of cricket pundits who are also talking about Test cricket is on slow death path. The big three, which is England, Australia, and India, only can afford. What's your view there? Is it players? Is it board? Or like what's driving that kind of a narrative?
I'll I'll actually not blame the players or the board. I'll actually blame the fans, right? So this is like a off field or different take than what most people have. Most people are like, oh, the T20 leagues are killing Test cricket. Oh, the boards are not prioritizing Test cricket. The whole thing is test matches. If not for in India, England, and Australia, India can afford to subsidize test matches. We can play 20 test matches also because India gets so much money from the IPL and the home series rights. So it's not about viability. Australia and England, it's very different. England test matches do bulk of the money spinning because the tickets to go and watch inside the stadium are super expensive, like 50 to 100 pounds. And most of the stadiums are full for like decent quality test matches, not your West Indies match, but even a New Zealand match or like an India, England, Pakistan, like the stadiums fill up in England. So it makes financial sense. Even in Australia, it makes financial sense. But again, when they play against top teams like India or like England or South Africa, you saw in the recent series for Australia, the stadium was kind of empty for the West Indies match. And I think in Perth for the Pakistan match, over 4 or 5 days, 60,000 people came. The capacity of the stadium is 60,000. And even when Warner was retiring, like the last match at SCG, the stadium was half empty. So people don't want to you know, go to any random test match. People don't have that much time. But India, England, Australia make it work. In other countries, the only problem is if India, England, or Australia tour, the test match works. But if it is, let's say, a South Africa versus New Zealand, which started all this topic, where South Africa Cricket Board had to prioritize a T20 because of contractual obligations and sending like a B or C team to New Zealand, that's because not as many people are watching test matches these days, right? So it's a question mark for all these boards. So if more and more cricket fans come and watch, the problem will solve itself. Easier said than done. People don't have as much time to sit and watch like 5 days, but I would say the reverse. These days matches are like 2 3 days, right? So uh, the more and more fans go and watch the matches, stop watching the T20 leagues. Those are more convenient. I'm not saying don't watch the T20 leagues, but find that balance, right? Like
Yeah.
all these T20 leagues happen just because fans keep watching them. If fans stop watching them, the T20 leagues won't exist. It's like that, right?
Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's get to the preview of the five test series. As you rightly pointed out, glad that it is five tests. First test starts tomorrow in Hyderabad, which is the Rajiv Gandhi Stadium. Second is in Vishakhapatnam. Third in Rajkot. Fourth in Ranchi. I think this is the first time Ranchi is hosting a test match, if I'm not wrong. We'll talk about it. And then the fifth test is at Dharamsala. Hopefully, the weather is warm. But tomorrow, the game starts in Hyderabad. First things first, Indian Test squad. The first two tests, Virat Kohli unfortunately is taking a break. But what do you think? India's got a good balance at home.
Yeah, I think at home it's all right, right? Like Shivam posed a question, why is Kohli not playing? Again, BCCI asked us not to speculate. It might be some medical reasons in family or, other things. So let's give him the privacy that he needs for that. But I don't think it matters in test matches at home. For us, I'd be scared if two players are injured, Ashwin and Jadeja, right? Those are the two key players for India, and we'll most likely play Ashwin, Jadeja, Akshar. So we bat till number 9. So the squad is sorted with Kohli not playing, and also Rahul Dravid mentioning that KL Rahul will not keep. I think the playing 11 is more or less like fixed. You'll have Bharat keep, then you'll have like Rohit, Jaiswal, Gill, Shreyas Iyer, KL Rahul, Bharat, Jadeja, Ashwin, Akshar, Siraj, Bumrah. Unless India also decides to do something like England and play four spinners, right? So yeah, like that's how it will work, right? So India squad is like fine. We should be all right batting till 9. If you want to spice things up, what do you think, Suman? Right, should we rest Siraj or Bumrah and play like Kuldeep, or is that too much?
I think that's too much. At least for the first two tests, we have to put our best 11 because remember,
Mhm.
England, this is their first real test as well. I know they
Yeah,
played versus Pakistan on roads and they played Bangladesh, they played Sri Lanka. I think New Zealand gave them their run for the money last year. This time was a close test series, but this is really away from home. It's a
yep,
huge test for Stokes, huge test for Baz McCullum. I think their
yep.
spin department is much more blustered now. In addition to Jack Leach, there are two more new spinners. We'll talk about it. But where I'm going to your question is, I think we should put our best 11 forward.
Hmm.
Bumrah is well rested. Siraj is in top form. We have seen in that South Africa second test. If the
Yep,
conditions support, I mean, day one, I'm sure Hyderabad pitch will, if you're bowling first, it will definitely be helpful for the cutters. Siraj is known for cutters. It's his home ground. Guess what?
yep.
Siraj. So he has to play. Bumrah, unless injured, no, I don't think we should give him a break. But you're right. Ashwin, we were talking about it too. I think his 100th test match is loading. 500 test crickets are loading. There's a lot to look
Yep.
forward for. Kuldeep versus Aksar. I don't know. I think
I
Kuldeep has a chance on test cricket.
Yeah, I'll play Aksar because I don't trust our batsmen. Like simple, right? Aksar, uh, like to Shivam's comment, I think it's Ashwin, Jadeja plus Aksar was and 8 others because if the pitch is turning a lot, even Joe Root can run through our top order, right? I personally don't have that much trust on Gill, Jaiswal, Shreyas Iyer on a turner, right? Like, will they be able to apply themselves and score those runs? I'm not too sure. I will trust Jadeja, Ashwin, and Aksar more as batsmen than our top order. So yeah, I'm like, we need to play Aksar. I'm of that opinion, given the batting depth that he provides. So then we battle 9. Then that gives us like a lot of luxury, and also maybe our top order, if the pitch is turning a lot, can also take an aggressive approach, knowing that we have like the batting depth to still score like a respectable score. Hmm?
Absolutely. And I think India have have everything to lose here. That this is
Yeah,
our home series number one.
yeah.
So by not adding them in a proper 11 is not going to be a good idea. An Indian joining in, we just got started, and Aditya was asking if India should rest Bumrah and Siraj and go with all spin attack, and again, my view was go with the same 11. What do you think, Anuj?
Uh, no, going with all spinners would be no. I mean, we should at least go for with one seamer, at least Bumrah. Um, yeah, but if you go with two seamers, then I don't know. There's the whole thing about run rate. I mean, the over rate and all. So you don't want to mess up there. But yeah, at least one seamer is needed. You really
Okay.
Yeah,
don't
no, no.
know.
We are talking about the second seamer. So, for example, we are
Huh?
assuming that Jadeja, Ashwin, and Aksar will play. Okay. Hmm?
Correct.
Then you can play Siraj and Bumrah. Right? Like because
Hmm.
all three can bat, so you can afford to play them. So instead of a Siraj or Bumrah, do you get Kuldeep or is that too much? Is that not required?
No, that's too much then. Because something that Aksa, Jadeja both they can do, and then Ashwin will cover the off spin part. Uh,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
yeah, I mean it's a good idea, but it's just like we already have the bases covered.
Correct.
Unlike England, they have new two spinners, so they just want to go with an extra spinner just to make sure that um, they have covered their bases.
Correct.
Yeah.
They need that insurance. India probably doesn't need it
Correct.
because all of
Yeah.
our three spinners are like pretty good. So yeah, fair enough.
And coming to England, in typical England style, they already announced the playing 11. Tom Hartley will make the test debut. He's the spinner along with Rehan Ahmed and Jack Lynch. Joe Root will also be there. So technically, they have four spinners, and thankfully, the guy who was struggling to get visa, the name Shoaib Bashir, I think he got the visa this morning, if I'm not wrong, and he's traveling for the week.
No, no, he already got a visa, but obviously they applied in England, so they're gonna get visa in the Indian embassy based in England. But they flew him
So
to UAE thinking they can get a visa on another from another country in another office of
Heard.
Indian. Yeah. So that's what they were thinking, and as soon as they realized that's their mistake, they started doing what they are doing at best, is crying and cribbing about it. And Ben Stokes saying this is so frustrating and all. But yeah, I think his visa was already granted. There's a proper process that everyone has to follow, given his family background and given the Indian rules. But that was all covered. But because the England team flew him to UAE and then again have to flew him back to London, but his visa was done on process. But anyhow, yeah. So it was nice to see England actually announcing their 11, playing 11. I think that's a proactive good move. That brings up the whole excitement about the series, that okay, we have a good competitor who's ready to face India in India, and I think is one of the only country who was defeated in India in the last decade or so, right? So it's going to be an important challenge. I'm looking forward to seeing 15 days of game in the five test match and seeing England crib a little bit more. Yeah.
okay. And from England's point of view, one name which is missing and was making rounds was Harry Brook, which we have a strong opinion on Sunrisers, Aditya, but Harry Brook, will England see any impact of him not being there, or it's a non-event?
It's a non-event. Like he hasn't been a proven player in Indian conditions, or like the last time he played in the IPL, he struggled. He did not have a good World Cup. Also, like I don't remember a single innings where he scored a lot. Hmm. So maybe one or two innings out of like the 9 matches. So again, different formats, but I don't think so. But one thing I'll say is if the pitch turns a lot, that'll actually help England because it'll get their spinners into the game. If it turns square from day one, like how if you all recall the match against Australia in Indore, the one which we lost, that was the pitch which was a rank turner and it was spinning square from day one. Mm. So if you dial up the conditions too much, it will backfire on you, like how it did backfire on South Africa recently, right? because they got bundled out.
Yeah.
They thought they will bundle out India, but they got bundled out. Given when you dial up the conditions too much, you bring the other oppositions not as great bowlers for the home conditions as well, right? So it's risky. So I hope the pitch is not too, like, at least looking forward to the first match, it is not too turning square on day one. It by the looks of it, it's like dry. There's not a blade of grass. So let's hope that it's like a 2.5 season instead of a 1.5, 2.5 day.
Yeah, given
Yeah,
the Indian spinners, I think India should not even go for rank turners
yeah,
because we have Jadeja and Aksa whose main strength is bowling stump to stump, right? They vary their pace and that's how they get the players out. And we have Ashwin who we know who even though he's an off spinner, he doesn't bowl those kind of off spin ball. So unless it doesn't turn, I think it's gonna play with England mind. They think, okay, this ball is gonna turn, this ball is gonna turn, and that's how they get all these three spinners get their wickets. So it shouldn't be a rank turner. Ideally, we don't have the same management uh, who managed to get the pitch for on November 19th for the Indian World Cup. I hope they don't have the same thinking here and they get a proper pitch this time.
let's hope so. Hmm. Because from a crowd standpoint as well, there's a lot of buzz for the test match in Hyderabad, at least, because the day tickets have been sold out for the first 4 days. Like the people who bought the fourth day were pretty optimistic, I should say, in life. But at least the first 3 days test match tickets have been sold out, and season tickets like one or two are like remaining, one or two stands. So it'll be like a good crowd, which is what we'd like to see in a test match, right? So let's hope let's hope the crowd gets their money's worth. And this is the same stadium in the background. This was during the World Cup, I think, the Pakistan Sri Lanka match, right? That also the crowd filled up pretty well towards the end of the match. Tomorrow should be a lighter day because it's a working day, but I'm assuming 26 January and 27 the stadium would be like more than 80, 70, 80% full. So the crowd will be backing the team. Hopefully the pitch and the team perform.
Yeah, it should be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward for it. And Anil, I think India batting, I have one concern. It looks slightly fragile. If you look at Jaiswal, Rohit, Shreyas, and KL, those are the only four who probably can be backed upon. Shubman Gill is at a stage where he has to prove now. I think he's done with the reputation banking. This probably is a series where it's a do or die for him. And then KS Bharat, I know he's local, but I mean, if Rohit Sharma and Jaiswal get out cheaply and Shreyas Iyer gets bounced, then again pressure will be back on KL Rahul, similar to South Africa. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, after the November 19 incident, I will always never have that much confidence in the Indian batting. I just have hope with Sharma and Jaiswal because Sharma is in good form, Rohit Sharma, and Jaiswal is the new guy in the team, and he's playing aggressively. So at least there's some kind of okay, that's fine. I mean, if he gets out cheaply, but at least he's not gonna play uh, being a little scared and being worrying about what kind of a pitch it's going to be. If the opening clicks, if they manage to score 50, 100 runs, I think that's enough. And for Gill, I think he has a good chance. He's going to come down. So at least yeah, the ball is kind of being used a little bit and he gets some time to settle down. And hopefully we manage to see at least a couple of centuries from Gill in this 5 test match series.
Okay.
But yeah, other than that, yeah, I think KL Rahul has been out after the World Cup. KS Bharat had a good. I think he was playing against England Day or in the Ranji,
Yeah,
England Day versus
he
England
scored
Day,
a hat.
right? Yeah, yeah. So he had a century there, so that was good. I don't know if Shreyas Iyer is going to be part of the team. Then I think
Yeah.
we don't have to worry much. I think he's a good player of the spin, and there's going to be only one pacer, so there's not going to be any bounce concern as such.
No,
So
it's
yeah,
Mark Wood. I'm willing to bet some money that Shreyas Iyer will get out to Mark Wood on a bouncer. Right. So I
I mean
somehow feel
if that happens, like really, I mean, we should the management should really think about if he gets out in India pitches against just the only seamer.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's the trap they've set for him. chose Mark Wood over Anderson, which I think is the right move, at least for the first test match. Let's see if the short bursts of like 140, 150 plus spells in Indian conditions. Maybe you never know, it might get them some wickets, right? So yeah, other like the first test will set like the tone for the future tests, right? Because it's a longer series. It's not like a two test match series. Oh, you lose the first one, you can't like win the series. It's like pretty long. So depending on how England performs, uh, depending on how their batsmen do, it could be like a close series. Like we are all like kind of like confident and writing England off, but if they somehow are able to win the first test match, you never know with the series, because if the pitches are rank turners, even a quick fire 50 will be like a game changing innings, right? 40, 50. So that's the only concern for me. If they go too much on the pitches, like with baseball, oh, they'll score like 200 runs in 35 overs. India is like 170 all out playing 50 overs. Hmm? And then you're behind the eight ball. If you bat fourth on those sort of pitches, even Joe Root will look like a Muralidharan. So you never know.
Yeah. शिवम को ऑफिस जाना है कल सुबह सुबह है अभी रात बाकी है शिवम रुक जाओ but two things
Yes.
I just looked at cricket info there was a trivia it says this is the first time since 2011 that India is not going into a test match without Kohli, Pujara and Rahane which is a big deal I think those are the big three names in
Three.
addition to Sharma but I mean, all three are pillars. Now looking back, Rahane fantastic contributions. Pujara is our wall technically, and Kohli not being there. This potentially is probably the future test, cricket kind of a situation. But it's a powerful stat.
Powerful stat, but we have to move on, right? Because Kohli is still playing well. Pujara is scoring runs for fun in Ranji, but the quality of Ranji cricket is pretty sad these days, to be honest. Jaydev Unadkat is like the Glenn McGrath there, and you have 30 teams that has diluted like the quality of cricket. Uh, and he's 35, right? Like that isn't old, but we have like a list of young batsmen, right? So this apart from like the people in the squad, you've got Ra- people in the playing 11, which will be tomorrow. You've got Abhimanyu Ishwaran, you've got Rajat Patidar, you got Sarfraz, you got Rinku, you got Tilak, you got Ruturaj. There's a list of players who've shown promise, who've done well domestically, all like the India A team. And I like that India A versus England A is being played parallelly. So let's say if Gill or Iyer continue to fail, or someone has an injury or a niggle on the 1 2 days before the match, you can draft these India A people directly into the squad. They are like playing matches, they're ready. So I'm not too worried. We have to move on. Like Rahane isn't even scoring runs in Ranji. Like what do I say now, right?
Yeah,
So yeah, like it's tough, but at the end of the day, we've got to move on.
excellent. So India probable 11: Rohit Sharma, Jaiswal, Gill, Iyer, KL Rahul, Bharat, Jadeja, and Ashwin, Siraj, Bumrah, and either
Aksar,
Akhtar or Kuldeep.
Aksar, I'd say Aksar, and that's it. Like I'll be shocked if they do anything different.
Hmm. Anil, do
I
you
mean,
agree with playing 11 or do you see anything else coming in? Patidar, debut maybe?
No, no, I think this would be even my playing 11. And I think Dravid confirmed that KL Rahul will not be coming in as a keeper. So yeah, I think this is what the playing 11 going to look like. I wouldn't be shocked if they do something different. If they get, I mean, if they go the England way and come up with another spinner like Kuldeep Yadav, I mean, they can do anything now, right now. They can think in any way. That's my concern. But I think this should be the pretty standard, the playing 11. And I think if KS Bharat doesn't perform well, say in the first two or three, then maybe we get a chance to see the young guy through Jurel, right? As a new keeper. I think he's also pretty decent. So yeah.
yep.
You're on
Well,
mute, so sorry.
Was on mute. This is a series start, so why don't we get some predictions? So are they 5 test match series? What are you thinking?
4-1. Like I don't want to say 5-0. I think 4-1. I doubt we'll have a draw unless India is leading the test series by 3-1 and Dravid sir decides we need like a flat wicket in Dharamshala, like how he decided against Australia. We were 2-1 up and we made like a expressway in Ahmedabad where Kohli got 180, Gill got 100, Khwaja got 100, right? So I'm assuming all matches will get results. So 4-1, 3-1, something like whitewash and all is tough. Yeah, with the kind of pitches and Dravid's track record. I don't think Dravid has gotten like even Australia we won 2-1, South Africa 1-1. We've not anywhere like kind of done like clean sweeps or anything under him. So I'm hoping I'm wrong and it's 5-0, but I'd say like 3-1, 4-1.
And all of this assuming India is the winner of series.
Yes, yes, of course, of course.
Okay.
If that's not like, then a lot of things will change in Indian cricket. Let me put it that way.
Okay. Just making sure. Anil,
Yes.
what is your prediction?
Yeah, I would also go with 4-0. I mean, I like what Aditya is thinking, where we are 3-0 ahead and then we get a flat pitch, and then England somehow manages to draw a test, and then we can be 4-0 or something. Yeah, if England wins one of those games, it's like England is going to win at least. If they're going to win the first, second test match or third test match. And if they're gonna win anything later part, I think that's gonna be some kind of a miracle, because the way India is going, usually India wins in in their domestic series is where they kind of thrash the other opponent, like they get the other team out for very cheap, like under 100 runs, or under two sessions, or under one sessions. So to overcome that, I mean, to come out of that and manage to win a last test match, it seems difficult. So it's going to be either 3-1, 4-1, or 4-0. Like, yeah, whitewash. Yeah, whitewash wouldn't be because England would be playing well. Like how Adi mentioned, we create a flat pitch and everyone end up managing scoring a century. Joe Root will not score another double century and we'll have a draw match. Yeah.
Okay.
So it wouldn't
I'm
be
only
England playing well. It would be because we created a very flat pitch.
Yeah.
Vizag and Dharamsala, I'm thinking will probably be the weather concern, one of the venues, because both have capability of rain. But my prediction will be, I think it will be a 2-2 or a 3-2 England. England probably will definitely push hard because I don't think we should underestimate baseball. And secondly, India has got everything to lose. We are under pressure, so I feel the pressure will be on India. That's what I think. It'll be 3-2 England or two each with one washout due to the weather, either Dharamsala or Vizag.
Weather is hard, Suman. You need like 3 days rained off or 2 days rained off, right? So that's, but you never know if there's a thunderstorm or like there is like something. Um, Maybe India will look at the weather and then say like, oh, prepare a pitch which turns more because we don't have too much time. Let's see, because if we go to left field, I can see what Suman is saying can happen because the when when the pitches turn a lot, a quick fire 40-50 will be worth a lot more, and they're not so pedigreed spinners might be very hard to play. Hmm. If the pitch is doing a lot. So we've seen that versus in Australia twice, I think, like in the last two tours to India. Once in Pune, where I think Steve O'Keefe became like, he was
Even
unplayable.
even that guy Ajaz who took 10 wickets
Yes,
in Mumbai.
Ashton Agar, and there was another spinner, I forgot, 20. Like the most recent series we lost in Indore because uh, their spinners were like, our batsmen were worse, is what I'd say, rather than their spinners were better. Hmm. So you never know.
Ashwin 490 tickets, the wickets. Is he going 500 this series?
100%. It's a question of second test or third test. First test is tough because there are three spinners with India. Like, I hope it's the first test because I'll be there, so I would want to watch the 500 test 500 test wicket. But very unlikely he'll get 10 wickets in one test. Second, most likely, worst case, third test. What do you think, Anil?
He is at 488 or 490. Sorry.
490.
490. 490.
Uh, yeah, I mean there are only two left-handers in the team, so maybe not a proper 10, but maybe some 7, 8, and yeah, maybe second test match. Yeah.
And Jadeja is on 275. Will he get to 300 test wickets by the end of series?
See, England has 100 wickets to lose. Jadeja should get at least 25%. So yes.
Yeah, yeah, that math works out. Yeah.
That's 5 wickets per test match. So even if he makes 3-2, 1-4, 5-0, 6-0, something like that, I feel both of them will break both the records. But it'll be fascinating. I'm looking forward for it because it'll be a close series. I hope, and hopefully the crowds enjoy and the big three continue to make Test cricket great again. Anil Jain, thanks very much for joining in and suggesting we should do the pod. It's been a while. It feels good. Aditya, enjoy the cricket match, man. We're looking forward for a lot of pictures and videos.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Hopefully we win.
Excellent. Thanks for
Thank
watching,
you.
everyone. Everyone, thanks for enjoying. कल सुबह ऑफिस चले जाना शुरू. See you later.